This game was played between Magnus Carlsen and Dinkleren in Norway chess 2024 round 1. This is Armageddon game, and their classical game in the same round was draw. So they are playing Armageddon, and Dinkleren plays with white pieces, Magnus Carlsen black pieces. Dinkleren gets 10 minutes and Magnus Carlsen gets 7 minutes, and this game is played in such a fashion: if white wins, white will get a point, and if black wins, black will get a point. But if the game is drawn, then Magnus Carlsen with black pieces having 7 minutes on clock will win the game or will get a point. So Dingley with white pieces started with 1 c4, and Magnus Carlsen replied with e5, and here white continues g3, and black replied with knight to f6, going for king's English variation, where white continues bishop to g2. He just fianchettos his bishop on the long diagonal, and now it is much hard to push this pawn and to play queen's Indian. So here black goes h6. White develops his knight to c3, and black goes bishop to b4, just like Nimza Indian defense. But this is not exactly Nimza Indian, because white pawn is standing here, and d pawn is not moved. So this is not called Nimza Indian, but still bishop is attacked with knight is attacked with the bishop. So now white continues e4, and now black goes d6. White develops his knight to e2, so that if this knight is taken by the bishop, he doesn't need to double this pawn on the c file. He will take back with the knight. So black here replies with bishop to c5. Instead of taking, he just retreats his bishop to c5, and now white goes h3. Black goes a5, pushing his pawn to the queen side, and creating an attack and launching an attack. And here white goes castling, and black goes knight to c6. White goes d3, just solidifies his pawn structure. Here black goes knight to h7, king to h2 was played, and now knight has reroute on f8 by black. Now white plays f4, going for king side attack, and now black goes knight to e6. White goes f5, and black goes knight to d4. Here white takes this knight with the knight on d4. Black takes back with the knight, and now rook to b1 was played. Bishop to d7 was played. b3 was played. b5 was played, and queen to g4 was played by white. Black plays king to f8. Instead of castling, he just goes king to f8. Queen to h5 was played. f6 was played, and queen retreats to d1 square. Now black goes b4, attacking the knight, and white goes knight to a4, attacking the bishop. Black retreats his bishop to f7. White goes bishop to f3. Here black replies and takes his bishop with the knight, and white takes back with the rook. Black goes queen to e8. White goes g4, just completing this pyramid and strong pawn structure. But here Magnus goes bishop to d4, and black goes bishop to e3, trying to exchange this bishop, where black takes and white takes back with the rook. Here black takes the knight on a4, and white takes back with the pawn. And now it is eight versus 8 pawn, 2 rooks and 1 queen endgame, where black continues c5, and white goes h4. Black goes king to e7. White goes rook to h3. Black goes king to d8. White goes queen to c2, just shuffling their pieces to the better squares. King to c7 was played. Rook to g1 was played. King to b6 was played. Rook to g3 was played. Queen to e7 was played. King to g2 was played. Rook to h7 was played. King to f2 was played. Rook to h8 was played. King to e1 was played. Queen to e8 was played. King to d1 was played. King to a6 was played. King to c1 was played. Now king to b6 was played. King to b2 was played. King a6. King b3. King to b6 was played. Queen to h2 was played. King to g8. Queen to g2 was played. Queen to d8 was played. Here both players are waiting for other player to push his pawn and to create an attack or to open the position, but they both are shuffling their pieces. Here white goes queen to f3. Black goes queen to e8. White goes rook to h1, and queen to d8 was played. Rook to g1 was played, and queen to e8 was played. Rook to h3 was played, and queen to d8 was played. Rook to h1 was played. Queen to g8 was played, and queen to g3 was played. King to a6 was played. And now finally Loren actually is in a situation where he must win, but in this close position he has to try something and opens the position. So he pushes his pawn to g5, where Magnus takes with the h pawn and Ding takes back with the h pawn. Now black takes h3, white takes h3 with the rook, and black takes g5, and here Ding takes h8, taking the exchanging the last rook. Here Magnus take back with the queen, and now Ding takes g5 with the queen. Now Black goes queen to h1, white goes king to c2. Now queen to a1 was played. Now queen to d8 was played. Queen to c3 check was played. Now this pawn is actually hanging, so uh, black takes his pawn with a check, and white moves king to b2. Black goes queen to d4, attacking this and this. Here black takes queen e4. King to b2 was played, and now queen to c6 was played. So here white goes queen to e7, and once again black gives check on g2. Here white goes king to b1, e4 check, queen to e4 check was played, king to b2 was played, queen to d4 check was played, king to b1 was played, and now finally Magnus pushes his pawn to e4. Ding plays queen to d7, queen to d3 was played, king to b2 was played, queen to d2 was played, and now king to b1, queen to d1, and now king to b2, queen to d2 was played, and king to b1. Because of this perpetual check by black, here the game was drawn. In fact, the game was drawn, but since this is an Armageddon where white must had to win this game, otherwise he would lose his point. So now, in fact, game is drawn, but the point will go for Magnus with the black pieces because he had 7 minutes from the start. Thank you so much for watching.